So he'll tell you as you go along. He tells you about how there's a brother and a sister, and that let's see, and that the sister had been working with Trixie, and the sister probably got her killed because Trixie had no business being at the arena, had no business being involved with any kind of.
He's still
any
throwing fellow elf people under the bus.
Yeah.
I was thinking that I could offer that guy some sort of, like save from Nibenay, but no.
And he's saying he's basically saying I'm going to the woman you're looking for, Trixie, she's dead. But the people who know what happened, and nobody really knows what happened, but the people who know what happened, the woman who got her involved in all of this, she's dead too, but her brother is at the arena. So you should, you need to get, if you want to find out more about Trixie, I don't know what you need to know or what you need to do about it, but if you're not just going to go turn around and go home, then you need to talk to this guy or make him talk. Oh, and by the way, I wouldn't mind if that guy disappeared forever. Unfortunately, instead of dying in the arena like any decent person would have done, he did well in the arena. So now he's kind of a star. So
decent person.
Yeah.
Said the very indecent elf.
Every elf for themselves,
No, that's exactly what it isn't. It's like.
So, I think that that you're getting a story. He talks about how this guy was kind of a disaster and made trouble for everybody. And as far as he could tell, Trixie was more of the same. He's not asking why you're after her or anything, but he's getting the idea it's not for anything good.
I'm now thinking that probably Sherlock slept with his sister or something for him to be doing all this bullshit after the fact. Like, what is this?
Who knows? But let's put it this way: you don't know about his interactions with House Tom, and they have had a lot of trouble over this.
Yeah. I knew that the Sky Singers threw me under the bus.
Yes, you did.
So I know that they were connected with the House of Tom.
You know that, yeah. But what I'm saying is that you don't know the details.
No, I don't.
So therefore, some of this is coming out of the details. He would really like it to clean this whole slate. He wants to clean it all off, and he wants to be able to blame everybody else.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what's going on here. And if this guy, he says, now that you know, now that I'm free, I'm going to. I've got my connections. I can make it worth your while here. I can make it worth your while here in Nibenay. If you want to, dispose of this troublesome person.
He's basically asking for like
payment,
or is he offering payment?
He's right. He's basically offering payment.
Oh, okay.
Right. So he's saying, if your target's not here, I don't know how you're going to collect any bounty or anything. But if you want a new job, I've got one for you.
Sounds like good. How much does he pay? Do I have to roll for that?
No. You might. This guy's really shady. So the question is, can you trust him? Yeah. And also remember, we are not dealing with like piles of coins. A lot of this is basically in terms of resources and connections.
There were some wooden coins.
Yeah, I know, but that's not really what people consider wealth.
Well,
wealth means support and a place to be. Yeah. And remember, you had done pretty well moving into the Elfie underworld, right? They were being treated kind of as a suitable thug.
Then I'll ask
So-
for payment upfront first
hmm
if
mhm.
he offers me well enough.
Okay. Well, yes. He says.
And to show me that he has the, maybe he just run away or
Right.
something. So I want to see he has what he says he has, the payment in full.
Okay. Well, that's going to. I mean, I just escaped from, execution. I'm not exactly carrying all of my assets with me.
No assets, nothing.
Okay, so that's fine, but don't you want to see don't I can at least show you the person.
If I don't see the payment, then I don't think there is one.
Okay. So in that case, it says you'll just have to give me some time. I mean, I can't just conjure up wealth out of my pocket.
That's what we
Amateur. Well, then I'll think about it. Until then, Matt, fix up the payment, and I'll just be on my way on my adventure.
Okay. So he says, no problem. In that case,
Where do I find you, though? If
well,
I'm
let's
waiting?
see. He's
He thank you.
thinking a little bit, and he says, okay, I can't go back to the Hill District. They're already, not only there's the kind of the police crackdown, but there's also the problem of my former associates who have taken my place in a variety of, functions, and they're not going to give it back. So I'm going to turn to my other connections. There have been some difficulties with this lately, but I think they're going to be eager to reestablish a trustworthy business contact like myself. I'm going to introduce you to some people. They're the House Shaw here in Nibenay. They they have the resources that you're looking for, and I have information and connections for them that they can't get any other way. So you and I, let's go. Let's go pay a visit. Let's see, there we go. To Sham Villa, Cliffside. Cliffside is that top of the map there, and there's
Yeah.
Sham Villa. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Is it M or N?
M.
N.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here.
Uh-huh. So it is an estate at the foot of the cliff that is almost like a little fortress,
Side.
and it is renowned as a party place. It's kind of a rich playboy villa kind of thing.
Okay, well, in that case, I know it's of the place where luxury attends. Then I'll follow you and follow you to the investor of this little side gig.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
So he does tell you, I don't really know exactly what happens to Trixie. Does that matter to you?
A lot, because I'm kind of looking vengeance for Trixie's death.
I see.
Because I'm her brother.
He did not present himself as a bounty hunter.
That's
He
true.
was
Right.
presenting himself that he's her relative.
Yeah,
I see.
I think that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
Well, okay. Well, I think
Not
that
brother physically,
right.
like,
But like
biologically,
right.
but we have a tight
Yeah,
bond.
Right. Okay. He probably just got the wrong impression
Yeah.
because that's how he thinks.
Mm.
So he says, all right. So he takes that in stride, doesn't even blink. Says, oh, well, that's no problem. I mean, if you want to,
How is it spelled? House?
SHOM.
Oh, Shom. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's also here.
Yeah.
Shom. Okay.
SHOM.
Yeah.
Slavery and parties.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Okay, so now I know what's happening with you. Okay, let's get to it and have people do things. Um, Palik is not able to meet with you again. You're going to be dealing with things have gotten very complicated for
I
Shafra.
also asked if this person of interest has something to do with Trixie's death.
No, no. These are people simply who have a lot of resources and who would find your services, useful, and I think that a good match. It's if I can set you up with them, then that is payment for as far as I'm concerned. This is his way of paying you, is to set you up with this very powerful family.
Okay, that's actually good enough.
What we have so that is your situation. Introducing you at House Shom in the fancy place and is his way of paying you, so that you will consider taking care of this rough person.
Still needs to pay him for
No,
getting him out of the galley.
All of these things. I mean, if he sets them up and makes a good introduction and succeeds in getting you associated with these people, they are the power in Nibenay. Before we deal with weird corpse things, let's deal with you and talking to your contact is no longer Alik, it's going to be Bleen, the fellow who actually was lost in all the madness. He was supposed to be executed at the arena, and other events interrupted everything. So he, sitting there in his little cell, completely unskilled in combat, sort of watched it all happen around him the whole time. But he was one of the Shafra's supporters. So he was one of Ashafra's supporters, and he is the person who comes to see you.
Okay.
And is very happy, actually, to get revenge on the people who tried to kill the Shafra at the original episode. And he says that he has all this information about this. Temya is actually a captive of House Shom, which is hard to understand because defilers are very powerful. But for one reason or another, they are somehow able to control this person. And so all this defilement, which is not actually a permitted defiler, because there are permitted defilers who are, allowed under permission from the Sorcerer King or from, the hierarchy to function in one way or another. But this is not. This is like a secret asset of House Shom. And it technically is defying Nibenay to do it. It shows how powerful they are. So he says that if you want revenge on, revenge for your people, Temya is directly responsible, but it is this House Shom that is actually the director of their efforts. And so to take them on in some way is extremely difficult, and that's basically one of the whole situations with the Templars is that they're supposed to administer the city, but these royal families kind of create power problems for them, and Shom is the worst of them, right? So and are always you've already seen them do all the dodgy drugs and everything. So that is really the question. I mean, you could certainly weaken them very badly by killing Temya. And that way you're taking out the direct cause of all these deaths and you're also weakening the actual directors. But to do that, Bleen is thinking he's a very, very vengeful person. He did not like getting dragged out of his establishment and sent to the arena to sit there and sweat and suffer and fear for his life. And now, was saved because of all that crazy stuff that happened. But now he's ready to he's ready to work for you, to work on your behalf. That's why Palik sent him. He looks very determined. So you and I have the problem of seeking to kill an extremely powerful defiler who also is protected by this very powerful royal noble house. So that is our job. I can see that I need to provide the perspective, the necessary perspective for where to go and what to do. And that's fine. So, okay, that's a very complicated problem. I need to think about that personally. Yes?
They are having this conversation somewhere. Is there opportunity for Sharuk to be there?
No. Bleen is not stupid enough to be just hanging around in the arena.
No.
These guys are actually walking around in the Western District.
Okay. No, it's all right.
Yeah. So I see them as walking through the markets and walking through the plazas and things like that. So partly it's just getting you a little more familiar with the city.
Yeah.
And maybe, you are weird and huge and lumpy now.
Yeah.
And you have this Dune Reaper with you.
Yeah.
And so this guy is like half size right next to you. And people get out of the way a lot of the time. But there will be some people who lean off of balconies or something like that, or run up to you in a little group and shout your name and jump up and down. You're kind of like a sports hero at this point. So every so often, your popularity will suddenly show up. So you're one of the star attractions now. Everyone's talking about sooner or later they'll see you kick ass in the arena and stuff like that. So
I think what I want to is find where Temia is.
Well, that's a good question.
Is it him that Sean is going to offer me as a bounty, or
No.
so it's you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted me taken care of.
Yeah. Abuk he wants all of the little footnotes erased.
Yeah, I don't think if he cares about me.
No,
I'll just there.
I just want, because the guy that Trixie and Ru talked with and made the deal, and actually that said that okay, now the death of the Sky Singers and Sharuk was settled. That was a different guy.
That was PV.
And he's still part of the Sky.
Yes,
he wasn't
he
he's still in power.
Yeah,
he's
still
running things there.
That guy was fortunate to be mid-level.
Yeah.
Right. So get rid of some high-level guys and say you have cracked down on crime. New high-level guys come in. The mid-level guys are still there.
That's okay.
So yes, he's still. I have him right here.
So there is definitely some sort of personal vendetta there. I know it. I'm gonna play with this.
Excellent. Well, that's what words are for. And so the next So, okay, now you don't just sort of walk around the city and look for someone. It's not like a role, right? So I have to be a little bit more contextual about all of this. While I'm thinking about that, let's go to you two.